drink is supplied by Ban Cafe. And in the hot seat, Minister James Baba is Assistant Minister for Internal Affairs. And we're discussing the killing of John Michael Ariong and the reaction of the government of Uganda and the police force. Mr. Minister, your account of events leading to the death of Ariong doesn't seem to tally with many other people, especially those in the opposition. Now, I'd like to ask you a question. You said when Besigye, you have repeated Besigye's name several times. Is your problem as government Dr. Besigye or Ugandans demonstrating?
No, it is the lies. For example, they say Ariong was shot, for example. And this was attributed to Major John Kazora. He claimed to have gone to Mulago and saw the body and came out with the statement that Ariong was shot. I think this is laughable, really. This is laughable. What competence does Major Kazora have? He's not a medical person. And actually, when I inquired, both the medical administration and those in charge of the mortuary says he never showed up there.
Of course, he didn't have to write in a visitor's book, did he?
He didn't show up there. There are people in charge of the mortuary. There's evidence he didn't show up there. But more seriously, he's not a pathologist to pronounce himself on that. The guy who did the post-mortem is Dr. Kalungi, a very competent pathologist, one of the best this country had. He trained in Makerere as a medical man. He did his master's in pathology in Makerere. He did his PhD in Norway, in the University of Norway. Very highly qualified. It was not even the police pathologist, Dr. Moses Biarhanga, who did it. It was Dr. Kalungi from Mulago who did it.
Mr. Minister, let's go back to the people, other Ugandans who have been killed.
No, but why are you escaping this?
No, I'm not escaping it.
This man is not competent. Comment on that. Well, let the people who are qualified comment on it.
Kazora is not in this studio. I cannot speak on his behalf. If you have said he never went there, then
why are you bringing the issues of people who are not in this studio here now? You should bring them all here.
I am asking about Ugandans who have been shot and killed while participating or being caught in the middle of these demonstrations that are violently broken up.
The answer I can give to this is that all those cases reported to the police are under investigation. All cases of reported killings are being investigated by the police.
Do you track independently reports of people who have been killed, even if they haven't been reported to the police?
Yeah. Some have come to me personally, as James Baba. I know of a guy from Kasubi who told me his wife was shot during the Kasubi demonstrations, and I assisted him to have his case investigated.
What did you find?
They're still under investigation. I haven't got the report back yet.
How long does it take to investigate an incident that took place in 2000 and 2010?
I'm a layman. I don't know the procedures for investigation, but where evidence is tampered with, it's likely to take time, obviously.
Can you tell Ugandans, Mr. Minister, that the government you serve actually investigates and cares about those people who have been caught in crossfire in clashes between different political ends?
I believe the government I serve and which I believe in, which I support, is committed to serving the people of this country.
Is this maybe to his competence then?
It could be competence, it could be inadequacy, it could be capacity, but the commitment certainly is there.
But someone would say that, it's easy for you to say since you support the establishment, but in the case of the Buganda riots, there are several reports, some of them public, talking about anywhere upwards of 50 people who were killed, gunshot wounds. This is something that was debated publicly. Wouldn't you think that in a world where such violence happens, that even with limited capacity, they would prioritize these killings? I mean, these were weapons fired by people who were under your charge.
Well,
not a single person has been charged.
That is yet to be established. Sadly, some people died. We are yet to know. I don't have the figures myself, all the figures. And if I knew this question would have arisen, maybe I would take trouble to find out. But I can say investigations take time. Given the capacity of our police, the inadequacies, and the numerous challenges they face, it will take time. But the commitment to investigate is there.
Mr. Minister, your predecessor in that office gave to Parliament of 27 people who were said to have been killed during the Kasubi riots in 2009.
Yeah.
The Human Rights Watch, an internationally reputable human rights watchdog, gave a report that put the number at 42 for the Kasubi riots alone in 2009. 2012 and the investigations, not a single case has been resolved.
But you can see the variations in numbers, 42 against 27 and others at 50. That calls for thorough investigations to establish the real numbers.
But do you know if there is a single case file that has been opened?
Have you checked with the CID, with the investigators, that there is no file?
No, I'm asking because I imagine it is a matter of public interest that when Ugandans get injured in such politically charged circumstances.
I've just quoted you of a case where this fellow from Kasubi came to me and the case file has been opened.
Yeah, but we can even, from your own testimony, if an individual has to go to a senior minister to have their case heard.
Apparently he had reported already, but he was asking me to speed up the process. He had reported there is a case file. I established that.
Is it possible that he didn't think that the police, was going to take this forward? Because there are many people who would testify that even in grievous circumstances like that, really the cases end up nowhere.
I'm sure even in your profession of journalism, there are people who have so much trust in you, Charles, and Mr. Zama, who can come to you individual and say, look, can you help me out in this? And I think this is what happened in my case.
What kind of assistance did you give him?
No, to link him to the investigators, to assist him and all the others so that these cases can be speeded up. I'm one of those who want to see this process is speeded up. Since I came to that docket.
As a political supervisor, did this raise a red flag within your mind to say maybe something is going wrong somewhere and I need to ask some questions?
Yeah, I interacted with the new director of CID, who is also new. We have had some reshuffles. The new director is new. She has a huge pile on her hands. There's no way you can hurry her or push her. She needs to get established, realign the staff and get the business done. Really, what I pray is you give them time, the chance to sort these things out. But I can assure you the commitment to be fair and to apply the law is there.
Where do extrajudicial killings lie in the scale of things that the police commit themselves to?
In this government, there's none. There's no extrajudicial. I think that ended during
these death by gunshots are not judicially sanctioned. Certainly, you can't say
there can be stray bullets, there can be accidental killings, but these are not judicial.
Trained professionals who have been, trained by taxpayers' money, who engage in, this politically charged circumstances.
Apart from the Agaba case, which I need to witness during my time, common case in Luzira. That's why this man has been apprehended immediately.
But I'm saying, if you look,
deliberately aiming at people and shooting at them, and that's why he was taken in immediately.
We have covered several demonstrations starting from 2009, and every time violence occurs, the people who are on the receiving end, those who suffer from gunshot wounds, do so because whoever is deployed there fires their guns.
I'm not aware of that.
There's a lot of footage.
I'm not aware of that.
There's public footage.
That's what people who are against our government say so.
No, but
we are making all our best efforts to train competent police to follow the law in handling the gun, and those who go outside it will face it.
I want to agree with you, but I would also argue that the evidence speaks for itself. That's why we have got,
I'm not discounting that there are some errant people who are doing that. We are not so thorough. But by and large, the law must follow its course, and the procedures must be applied.
In this case, has the law followed its course? From 2009 through 2011?
In the case of Komakech, I think the law has
we're talking about political demonstrations that turn into riots.
I have come into this office since 2011, February. So give me a chance to also, before you can assess me and judge me on that one.
But Mr. You said 2010, February 2011?
Yeah.
This would be a year in office, wouldn't it?
That's very short in government. Very, very short.
Yeah. But the enthusiasm you have demonstrated in investigating this latest incident shows clearly that there was lack of similar enthusiasm to deal with other similar cases before.
I believe I'll apply myself the same way. I believe so.
I have a
you had journalists who claimed you were shot by police during the Kalero demonstration.
Not shot at, but not shot.
Well, he claimed he was shot at, and we took it up immediately, didn't we? I took it up immediately. So give me chance. I've just come into this. We have just come into this office with my senior colleague, Honorable Nek.
Mr. Minister, the people who believe that the police and the government has seized on the death of Ariong, which is unfortunate on its own, to try and fight back and seize the political opportunity to take the political high ground.
No,
to cover up for other things that it hasn't investigated.
It is not the government, it is not the police, it is the opposition. In fact, they are targeting this IPU conference to heighten these demonstrations, to portray Uganda a very chaotic situation. That has been the objective. Honorable Alaso is even quoted in one of the airwaves to say, you wait, they will be on their knees. I think it's on NBS or one of the FMs. I don't know whether it was KFM even. Says during the IPO conference we shall be on our knees. So that has been their motives. What do you expect us to do?
Do you think that you're dealing with a political problem that actually your government has refused to accept and address?
Which political problem? We are a legitimate government, duly elected by the majority of Ugandans.
But you know, Mr. Minister, that the election was contested.
Where? It was not contested in any court of law.
Failure to contest it in a court of law doesn't mean that the election ran smoothly.
Then contest it in a legitimate way. According to law, we have laws governing elections in this country and how to petition and how to address your grievances. If you do it to the contrary, the law will apply itself.
Is there room in this government to have a discussion with the political opposition to minimize death of Ugandans, including serving officers like Ariong?
Charles Mwangusha, I'm sure you are aware there are institutions that have been set up to dialogue with the opposition, inter-party dialogue and so forth. These instruments have been set up. Sometimes they work, most of the time they don't work. But the avenue for discussion, for dialogue, for interaction is there, except people are not taking them up. Their motives are different.
Would you take the opportunity on this radio to send them a message that you're willing to talk to them?
I believe I can confirm, and I say so, that the avenue for dialogue is open under the inter-party framework arrangement. That opportunity exists up to now.
When you take a commercial break, President made a visit of John Michael Ariong.
Yeah.
We'll discuss the details after that.
Thank you.
It's live, it's hot, provocative, and digs deep into the issues. It's KFM's Hot Seat in association with Nile Gold, a crystal malt lager beyond an ordinary malt.